In this lesson, we're going to move now over to the layout builder. Now, this is where you get to do a lot of cool things, a lot of fun. But before we start to do anything, what I need you to do is to go back to your admin panel, go to extensions. You want to go to templates, and you want to click on this template here. You want to duplicate it. I always tell people this: before you start doing anything, you want to make sure that you have a backup in case you have to revert back to a previous way that it looked before. So you want to have a copy. So once you've done that, let's take a quick overview of how this works. So this is the header part, which is right here. So if you notice, you have these icons here. And if you don't want to choose this one, then you choose this. It's not going to have this phone number and the social icons at the very top. So based on what you're going for, you can do this. So if I switch it to this and I click on save, it is going to remove that top part. So now I don't have that top section anymore with the number and the social icons. I can relocate that somewhere else. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment. So now it's like this. And let's move over to the layout builder. This is where you can be able to edit, you can be able to delete, you can be able to customize, you can add things, you can move things around. This is where the fun part is. So let's start off first here. When you put your mouse over this, you notice that you have different options for the layout. What this is showing you the several ways that you can be able to design your page. So if you want to have a section where you have this left section, for example, it's a little smaller and this part is bigger, you can choose this. The point of this is utilizing a tool of technology called scaffolding. And what that means is all the numbers here you see, if you add them, they add up to 12. So it cannot be more than the number 12. So if you go to this one, 5 plus 5 plus 2 equals 12, 6 plus 4 plus 2, and so on and so forth. So it gives you the flexibility to be able to do that. Let's say you wanted something smaller, you can go 2, 2, 2, and as long as you add up to 12, you can do that as well. That'll work. So you can't have like 13 or 14 or 15. The maximum number, once again, is the number 12, nothing more. So you can subdivide that number 12 into several sections as you see here. And then let's go over to this cog. When you click on it, you see full width. Now what this asking you is, you can make this section here stretch out. And stretch out, what that means is all the content that you put in here is going to be from one end of the page to another end. Like you see this top here, it is going to be stretched out, and you're going to see that in just a moment. I just want to give you an overview. So when you go over to, you can name this to whatever you want it to be. It's going to help you to stay organized. So you can put that as the very head or the body or whatever you want it to be. They've done that for you. So next, with the full width, that's set to no. The custom class, you have to worry about that right now. But there are times when you have some of the custom class, you want to design it, give it a certain style and look. You would have to edit the CSS, but we're not doing that in this particular lesson. So let's go over to the styles. You can add the padding. This is where another fun part comes in. The padding, you can add the margin, you can add text color. So let's say for just this section, you want to have a certain color. What's going to happen is everything you put there is going to be just that color in that section. So you go to the link color, whatever you put here is going to override what is already on there because you're making some selections specifically just for this. So you want to go to the background. You can choose the background. You can have an image, and we're going to test this out later on. So you have select here. We've seen this before. The background size, cover, contain, inherit. You want to choose the background attachment, position. So you have a lot of flexibility. And finally, let's take a look at responsive. So this is one really cool thing about this framework that is really vital. So let's say you're working on a section and you're doing a special promo and you don't want that to show up on the desktop, for example, and you want it to show up just on the phone, or you want to show up just on the tablet. You can create specific content for specific devices. So if you don't want something to show up on desktop, you just close it. Or let's say you want a section to show up just on the phone. When you do that, it is going to show up just on the phone only. And we're going to see how that looks later on the larger phone. So you get to pick and choose where you want this content to be able to show. So if you don't want it to show up on a smaller desktop, or if you wanted to show on just there. So you can create sections and designate it to show across the board. Or if you want something for mobile users, sometimes you've been to websites where it shows you mobile content. If you run a special, for example, special promo, and you tell your audience, listen, you can only get this deal on the phone, they're only going to see that content if they use their phone. If they use a computer, anything else outside of that phone, they will not be able to see that. So this gives you like a general overview. I'm not going to apply that yet. Overview of how this works. And every section here works the exact same way. If you want to add something, you click this plus, and you've just added a section there. If you want to delete it, you can click to delete it and click OK. And now you have that section has been deleted. So it gives you so much more that you can do. This is where your creativity comes in. And this works perfectly with Page Builder, because you can use the combination of both to create some really, really amazing and incredible looking websites just with these two. And the best part is there's absolutely no coding done to it. You don't have to code anything. You don't have to know CSS. You just use this, use your creativity, and come up with something amazing. So in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at, customizing and tweaking and editing some of these.